It's the end of the day with Ray. Hello, my friends. You know, there's a chart right now with a measurement inside the imaging channel where the line's going up. And a lot of people don't know that chart exists because they're paying attention to all the charts where they show the red line where the revenue, hardware sales, supplies, sales, service, it's all going down. It looks terrible, these terrible, terrible charts. And they're looking at these terrible, terrible charts with red lines going down, and they're trying to figure out how that red line's going to come back up. In other words, they're trying to prolong a horrific ending. Folks, I'm looking at a chart with a line going up. I'm looking at a chart that shows all kinds of opportunity. And guess what? That chart is about creating something new, not prolonging a horrific ending. So you're asking yourself, so what's the chart, Ray? I'm going to show you on my interactive board from ClearTouch. Folks, I'm measuring awareness, and I'm measuring the customer's awareness. And as the customer is becoming more aware that print's really not that relevant to them, it's creating a ton of opportunities for dealerships and IT services companies. Let me explain. If you go back into January, so let me just put a little J here. Back in January, the customers were really not aware that they were being oversold and overspec'd A3 equipment. The customers were really not aware of how easy it would be to digitize some of their work processes. The customers were kind of living in complacency, just like the channel. The customers thought, well, let me just renew the lease on the big A3. That's what I've always done before. And then what happened? March rolls around, folks. All hell breaks loose. Workers are sent home. Guess what's happening? The customers are becoming more aware that print is not really as relevant as it was in January. I mean, this is just a couple months later. This is when I believe they started becoming aware that maybe I ought to have an A4 instead of that oversold A3. And then guess what happened? We get into May. Let's go all the way up to May. By the time May rolls around, they're getting an invoice from their copier company. And they got this big giant A3 in the hallway with 20,000 pages or 10,000 pages built into the lease. And the customers are calling back the dealers and saying, I don't want to pay that, I didn't use it. They're becoming aware. And then all of a sudden, June rolls around where we're at right now, and it's just about over. And now June rolls around and they realize, man, I'm so glad that we were able to digitize processes. I'm so glad that we were able to move into the cloud. That's a cloud, folks. I'm so glad I had a partner that was able to help us transition from this print-centric analog world to more of a digital process world. I'm so glad that I feel secure because my workers are at home now and they're safe. Folks, here's the reality of it. It was this awareness that's going on that changed an industry. It really did. The problem is a lot of the industry doesn't know it yet. Folks are still going to print. That's for sure. They're just not going to print near enough to turn that red line around in any kind of fashionable way that makes sense in the current circumstances of the deliverable. But those dealers that figured out along this line that they could get into IT services, that figured out along this line that they could do e-com, that figured out along this line that they could help move people to the cloud, that figured out along this line as it was growing, as it was climbing, that they could help organizations be safe and secure by working from home. Those are the organizations that are going to win. This awareness isn't going to stop. Even if everybody goes back to work in August, we're not going to go over here in August and have everybody have the same awareness they had in January. They're not going to say, oh yeah, now I need to print again because I'm back in the office. They're going to want to take all the stuff they learned as they were getting more aware that they didn't need to print. And they're going to try to implement those processes and business models as they work in the new normal that they created. So my friends, we can continue to try to prolong this horrific ending, or we can create a new beginning. And the best way to create a new beginning is to follow the line that's going up and say the hell with that line that keeps going down. There's ways to make money off print. It's in this line. People aren't doing away with it. They're just doing it a whole lot different than they did before. But it's all the other things that you can provide them that will keep you relevant in handling a customer's needs in the future. Because whether it's August of 2020, whether it's February of 2021, sooner or later we'll all be back to work. And there will be a whole bunch of people that are working remote. There'll be some people working in the office. But one thing's for sure, that awareness, it ain't going down. I'm going to end my time the way I always do. Status quo is the killer of all that will be invented. Don't get stuck in status quo, and I'll see you all tomorrow.